All right, I guess we are live now. So today we are covering three habits for project managers that are going to basically ensure that chaos on your projects reduce and clarity becomes the norm. This is based on a very popular book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and that is the reason why you see his picture here. So, we are talking about three habits that project managers can basically look into, can adopt, and we will go over a logical sequence when covering these three. So, the three habits that we think project managers can adopt are standardize, centralize, and improve. So let's look at some of the practical tips to ensure you reach excellence in project management. But before we go there, a quick brief about me. I started my career in project management in 2011, and then you can see some of the certifications that I have and some of the companies that I have been involved with as a speaker, mentor, and consultant. All right, a bit about PMC Lounge as well. PMC stands for Project Management Certifications, but we want to ensure that we provide you with the best of resources, not just for your PMP certification, but also to stay abreast with what's happening in the world of project management to improve your project management craft. So, if you go to the playlist section of our YouTube channel, you will already find playlists, concepts, practice questions, everything that you need absolutely free to pass your PMP exam. But then there are videos like these, the video that you are watching right now, where we gain and we go over stuff that is going to give you the knowledge, impart the knowledge so that you can become an excellent project manager. So you could have been a PMP aspirant, you became PMP certified. Now that you're certified, how do you reach project management excellence? And that is where content like this is going to help you gain the insights, right? So all right, let's start things off. This is just a reminder that we are also available on all the social media: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We have a Telegram and WhatsApp channel as well, so definitely consider subscribing. All right, so let's talk about the Atomic Habits connection. I mentioned this book that you see here, Atomic Habits. So why am I basically making sure that my understanding of this book and the insights that I got from this book is something that you as a project manager should also take care of and basically take note of. So habits shape long term success more than one time transformations. So habits is basically something which is better than one time transformation. And that's basically the whole crux of this book, right? It says that habits make or break the man, not just a one time transformation. If we talk about project management, we often look for, big bang solutions. As an example, buying a new tool like Jira. Once we buy Jira, our entire organization will go from waterfall to agile just like that, because we now have a new tool called Jira. And that's when you realize that, well, agile is actually not something which is dependent just on Jira. Agile is a way of working, it's a change in mindset. So Jira cannot necessarily help you transform your organization from waterfall to agile. Habits can. So one big bang solution, one tool cannot do that, but habits, the mindset of agile, that is what it is that is going to help you move from waterfall to agile. So success comes from small repeated actions. Just like in life, it's not, one trip to the gym that gets you fit. It's going 3 times a week, every single week, consistently for the next 6 months to see any kind of results. Okay, so James Clear's Atomic Habits, this book, it basically has 4 laws of behavior change. So if you've come across the book that I just showed, right, Atomic Habits, by James Clear, of course, you will know that he talks about four powerful laws of behavior change. These are, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. So we will explore all four and how do they apply to project management. And I'll take you through the three essential habits that we are talking about today: standardize, centralize, and improve. And we will break each of these three habits down using these four laws. This way, you will not only know what to do, but also you will know how to actually make it stick with your team. So they adopt these three habits. By the way, a quick question here. Has anyone here, any one of you read this book? Let me know in the comments. It's definitely a book that I would recommend even if you're not a project manager, because this does not have anything to do with project management, by the way. It's a good self help book. So, the agenda for today, we talk about standardize, centralize, and improve, right? These are the three habits that you and I, as project managers, can take away and sort of start implementing on our projects. And we'll go over these habits by making use of the four laws, right? How do we basically ensure that project team also gets these habits? Standardize your tools, centralize your tracking, continuously improve with retrospectives. So do you have a template folder that your team actually uses? Drop a yes or no in the comment below. Is there a template folder? Because that is one of the things that we are going to be talking about as part of the habits. Number one habit is centralize, standardize your tools, not centralize, standardize your tools. So we go over the four laws, right? The four laws that we saw in the previous slide: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. So the first habit, which is standardize your tools, how do you make it obvious? You create a shared repository of templates. That was the reason I asked you that question in the previous slide. You, as a project manager, need not reinvent the wheel. Your project management office or PMO can actually create a SharePoint hub with project charters, status reports, test plan templates, and all these templates can be used by the rest of the teams. New joiners, they know exactly where to go, and this is going to save hours because they will have templates. So this is where standardize your tools come into the picture. You make it obvious with by sharing these templates on SharePoint. How do you make it attractive? You can keep templates clean and usable, right? Nobody wants a 20-page requirements document template in Times New Roman with size 8 font, right? As a project manager, you can look into redesigning your templates to be maybe color coded, much more accessible, shorter, maybe. They should be easy to read, right? So people will love the clarity, and that is how you make templates more attractive to use. Make it easy, keep instructions minimal, allow for flexibility. Templates should not feel like straight jackets that everyone need to fit in a straight jacket, right? As an example, agile teams can use simple Jira story template with just three fields. The three fields for every Jira story is persona, need, and purpose. As a persona, I need to, whatever the purpose is, I need a payment gateway integration to be able to make payments on our new app, right? As simple as that. So if you have a Jira story template which is very straightforward, very simple, you make it easy for everyone to make use of that template. And if you give flexibility, that is also going to encourage adoption without any red tape. Finally, make it satisfying. How do you make this satisfying? You can recognize those who adopt templates, who use templates. You can send kudos to project team members that are using templates consistently and they are doing it right. You will see that adoption will increase if you recognize the efforts that people are putting into the picture, right? If they are putting in the efforts, you must recognize it. And you will realize as a project manager in your career that recognition often turns a task, right? Something that might be a task into a habit. So, recognition is very important. The power of recognition is something that you can make use of to make it satisfying, to make this standardization of your tools satisfying. Now, you can think of templates like your go to grocery list. If you have to go to the grocery every week, you don't write a brand new list every week from scratch, right? You might reuse the basics, the veggies, the fruits that you need every single week, right? So you can reuse the basics, and then you add a twist of what's special this week, whatever that's additionally required this week, and then you're done. So same is the idea here. You standardize most of the standard stuff. You standardize your tools, like create a repository, and then you just keep on adding whatever the changes are to your project when it comes to, let's say, a project charter template, right? So that is habit number one. Let's talk about habit number two, which is all about centralizing. So we talked about standardize. Now let's talk about centralize. Centralize your tracking. And we again follow the four laws. Make it obvious. Use one tracker for tasks and action items. As simple as that. Instead of all the information lying in Word documents and Slack and Jira and meeting minutes and Confluence web pages, try to use just one tracker for your project status, which includes your tasks and upcoming action items. So that is how you centralize your project tracking, because you are using one source of truth. As simple as that. Now, how do you make it attractive? You can use dashboards and visuals instead of just plain simple text. You can use progress bars as well, and even dashboards that are colorful, that have all these charts and graphs and whatnot. And you may even have big screens displaying such progress bars in your office, right, wherever your project team sits. You may have a big screen that shares the status of the project with all these colorful charts and whatnot. Project team members usually like seeing tasks moving forward, seeing the progress, and if it's right there where they sit, that is, I think, going to definitely make this attractive. Now, how do you make it easy? Keep everything in the same tool, which is the whole point of centralizing your tracking, right? Keep everything in the same tool. If your development team lives in Jira, let's not force them to update Trello for action items. This is just an example, right? Nothing against or for Jira and Trello. But if everyone's using Jira for everything, then let's not introduce new tools. Try to make use of Jira itself. And that is how you make it easy for everyone, for your project team, of course. Make it satisfying. Celebrate completed items. This is how you make this habit satisfying. Whatever that is completed should be, celebrated. You can think about sending a Friday email with maybe a wall of fame for whatever action items that were completed this week. And it can actually become a fun ritual, and it can also improve compliance as well. So that is how you make it satisfying for everyone, that your tracking is not just centralized, but it is also satisfying. Now, how many tools? Let me know in the comments. How many tools are you using to track your project effort? And when I say tracking your project, I don't mean like, one tool that is for status and it counts as everything, right? Are you using any other tool for your risks, for your dependencies, for your cross functional collaboration, right? I'm just talking about the total number of tools that you use. And it could be five, it could be six. But if you have multiple tools that you use, that you need to refer to when it comes to your project status, that is where this whole concept of centralizing your tracking can be very, very helpful and can come into the picture. A quick reminder about our PM 101 training session. It will be linked in the description. It's a legend of a video with 1.5 hours of project management basic concepts. It has over 500,000 views, so definitely check it out. It's totally free. All right, let's talk about habit number three, which is improve. It is all about improvement now. So, how do you continuously improve with retrospectives? And retrospectives, although a popular term in Agile, can also be used if you're doing waterfall projects, right? You can always do a retrospective meeting to understand what went wrong, what went right, and all that good stuff, right? So basically, lessons learned. So, how do you make this obvious? You can schedule recurring retrospectives. A lot of times, especially in agile environments, we see that teams are busy. They don't want retros because they just skip the retro because they are busy working on the next sprint. This is the reason why you should schedule recurring retrospectives, let's say for the next 3 months. If you have Outlook meetings that are already scheduled for the next 2 months, 3 months in advance, you will see that the consistency is going to improve and people will start showing up. So, always have retrospective meetings, always have lessons learned meetings. Don't wait for fires to break out and then schedule a retrospective to discuss why the fire broke out, right? Make it attractive. How do you make retrospectives attractive? You can use varied and engaging formats. I remember once attending a retrospective which actually had a theme going on. The theme was a sailboat retrospective. So imagine a sailboat, right? Anchors of the sailboat hold us back, and winds push the sailboat forward. So, what are the anchors and what are the winds? That was the focus in that whole retrospective. So, it kept the session fresh and the team actually engaged. It's actually I mean, if you look at it, it's basically a newer way to think about retros than the usual, what should we keep doing? What should we stop doing? What should we start doing? Instead of, playing the same record again, you can come up with fresher perspectives, fresher ideas, more engaging formats. And that is how you make retrospectives attractive. Make it easy. Pick one improvement at a time, right? So after a retrospective meeting, you might have a list of 15 things that the team can work on, but pick one thing at a time, one improvement at a time. Retros should focus on just one change per sprint. So you have 15 ideas, that's all great, but in the next sprint we will just focus on one of those 15 ideas. If you can do this over a quarter, you will see that there are a lot of small wins that actually add up. It can be as simple as automating test reporting. That can save hours of manual work, right? So focus on one thing so that it becomes easier. It's not like team is totally just got so busy with the retrospective and the action items out of retrospective that they don't want to have this retrospective in the next sprint because it added a lot of work. You have to make it easy for everyone. Make it satisfying also. So, in addition to making it easy, you make it satisfying. You share results and you give recognition. How about you start your retrospective with the wins from the last sprint, right? So, whatever that you discussed in your last retrospective, what was achieved after that? There were a lot of action items after it, right? After the retrospective, you just focused on one, and what is the progress on that one improvement item that you took up after that retrospective? And share the status about it, share the progress about it, and you will realize that this is something that a lot of people actually like. Your project team is going to like going over what actually worked and why this retrospective actually matters. Team members love seeing metrics, especially when it's trending upwards, especially when it's trending positive, right? And they will enjoy the shout outs as well. So you can, not just give out the status of the improvement action item from the last retrospective. You can also give a shout out to everyone who's working on it, who's making it happen. So think of retrospectives like your weekly meal preparation. Without checking what worked or what you ran out of, you will repeat the same mistakes. The same mistake could be too much rice and no veggies at all. So if you do a retro, you will have an idea of how much more veggies you need so that you don't run out of veggies in the next week. So that is how retros basically help you adjust. Now, let me know in the comments, do your retrospectives start with celebrating wins or start with, what has gone right so far, or you just come into the retrospective and get down to the basic three questions. What should we start doing? What should we stop doing? And what should we keep doing? Let me know in the comments. Definitely looking forward to your answers. So here are the takeaways from this session, right? Habit number one, standardize your tools. Start by standardizing your tools so everyone's on the same page. Then centralize your tracking so nothing falls through the cracks. And finally, continuously improve with retrospectives so your team gets better over time. Together, these three habits can help you reduce chaos on your projects. This can help you boost collaboration and build long term success. And remember, just like James Clear explains in this book, the real magic is all about compounding the small wins. It's not about one big bang change, right? It's all about compounding small wins over time. And these three project management habits that we just discussed today, these are going to compound into a smoother and happier project team for sure. Here's your call to action. If this session has been useful so far, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps content like this reach to more project managers like you, and it also motivates us to create engaging content like this that is beyond just PMP and certification preparation. A quick reminder about our playlist section. If you are preparing for the PMP exam, this is where the gold is. Definitely head over to youtube.com/PMC Lounge/playlists. And one more thing, start with one habit today. That's my homework for you. Start with one habit today. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to adopt all three habits from next Monday, right? Pick just one. Maybe set up a template repository this week, or maybe move your action items into Jira if everyone's using Jira, or maybe schedule your first retrospective call. Build just one habit and the rest is going to follow. So I hope you found value here. Definitely consider subscribing if you did. I'd like to remind you about our VIP Pass. This is our YouTube membership program. You get a lot of perks, so definitely consider joining and join our awesome YouTube community. A lot of members are enjoying the perks that we have. This comes with a very small fee, but it's a lot of bang for your buck. So that's all that we had in this video. I hope you enjoyed this content. I hope you got to learn something new today. Keep learning, check out our other videos, and my call to action would be to subscribe to this channel so that we continue to share content like these.